with this day after day, looking into the eyes of your wife who laughs with your ex-lover. It's worse than any trial, worse than shame. I've never told this story to anyone. Even now, as I type it, my fingers shake. Maybe if someone found out who I really was, everything in my life would fall apart. I'm an ordinary guy. I work as a system administrator for a small company. I'm married. I live on the outskirts of Chicago. I'm 34. At first glance, it's a boring, stable life, but 3 years ago, I did something I still can't forgive myself for. It started innocently. A new employee appeared in our office, Laura, 7 years younger than me, bright, self-confident. It was easy to talk to her. She laughed at my jokes, and her eyes, she had those eyes that make you forget what you wanted to say in the first place. I knew it wasn't just a crush. I felt something teenage boiling in my chest, like I was back in college, and I started looking for excuses to stay late with her in conference rooms, accidentally grab lunch at the same time, walk her to the car. My wife, Allison, didn't suspect a thing. She trusted me, and I enjoyed this feeling of danger. A month later, I admitted to myself I was in love, for the first time since I got married. One day, Laura and I were staying late at the office. I was helping her set up her computer. Trivial, right? And at some point, she looked at me and said, "You're good. Too good to be just an IT guy." I kissed her. I didn't understand how it happened. And she kissed me back. We went to her place. That night, I lied to my wife about working late, and I cheated on her. For the first time in 8 years of marriage. The next morning, I felt like an empty shell. But the worst thing is that I didn't stop. Laura and I dated for almost 2 more months. Secretly, she knew I was married. I said that things were bad with Allison, that we had practically broken up. I lied. Every night, returning home, I felt like I was losing myself. And then Laura told me she was pregnant. It was a shock. Everything inside me broke. She didn't push, didn't scream. She just said, "I'm keeping the baby. You can be there or you can disappear, but you'll know it's there." I didn't know what to do. Tell my wife, leave, stay. A week later, I made up my mind. I came to Laura's, and her apartment was gone. Moved out, without a trace. Phone, out of range. Mail, not answering. I even tried to find her through mutual colleagues. No one knew where she had disappeared to. Sometimes I think she lied. Maybe there was no baby, or she just decided to leave so as not to ruin my life. But sometimes I wake up at night in a panic that somewhere a child will grow up, my child, who will know that his father is a coward. 2 years passed. I tried my best to forget that chapter of my life. Laura disappeared, leaving only guesses and sleepless nights. Allison and I continued to live as if everything was normal. She got pregnant shortly after Laura disappeared and gave birth to our first son, Jacob. I honestly tried to be a good father, to replace the broken, guilt-ridden version of myself that I hated. We moved to a new house closer to the park and playgrounds. Everything seemed to be going well. And then, life decided that I had relaxed too much. One day, Allison came back from a walk and said, "I met this amazing mom today at the play center, Laura. We accidentally got to talking while our kids were playing in the balloons. Can you imagine? Her son is almost like our Jacob. The same curls. We became such friends. I even left her my number." I froze. Name, son, play center, curls. I went to the bathroom and just sat on the floor for about 20 minutes until my breathing evened out. When I first saw her picture on my wife's phone, my heart just stopped. It was her, Laura. And next to her was her son, the same child she was carrying when she disappeared. And now he was playing with my son. They were sitting in the same sandbox. I couldn't believe how cruel the irony was. Laura was now one of those mums who chatted about diapers and baby food. And Alison, she was just in love with her. "We agreed to go to the Children's Museum together next Saturday," Alison said. "Jacob adores her son. It's like they're soulmates." Yes, soulmates, because they're brothers. I pretended to be sick on Saturday so I wouldn't have to go with them. I sat at home and drank, staring at the wall, while my sins walked around the museum with my child and the child of the woman I betrayed. And in the evening, a photo. Laura and Alison smiling in front of a giant plush jellyfish, their sons hugging like they'd known each other their whole lives. I didn't know whether to cry or to vomit. Sometimes I think Laura set this all up, that she knew where we lived, that she came to that play center on purpose, that she knew who Alison was. But what's worse is that she doesn't say anything, she doesn't demand anything, she doesn't blackmail, she just watches. Alison recently said she was thinking about asking Laura to be Jacob's godmother. It all seems like the universe is just mocking me. Cosmic surrealism. Simply absurd. How could this happen? And I just don't know who I am anymore. Maybe one day she will tell everything. Or maybe she will raise her son next to mine until school, and I will live my whole life as if on a needle. Sometimes I think it would have been better if she hadn't disappeared then. It would have been better if I had left. Or confessed, because living with this day after day, looking into the eyes of a wife who laughs with your ex-lover, it's worse than any trial, worse than shame.